afternoon, everybody. How the devil are you? As you can see, I'm by the river today. Just had to get out, and although I've been out both of the last previous days for quite long walks, I looked out the window this morning and it was quite a sunny day, a reasonably sunny day, some blue sky, a bit of snow showers going on. I thought I have to get out. I have to get out. I can't just stay at home for another day, doing the same old routine, having a coffee, going on the computer. Just, it's repetitive boredom, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the same four walls. I'm sick of not having any company really, and I know exactly how my mum feels at the moment, and she can't even get out because she's disabled, and she doesn't. I'm privileged in the fact that I can actually get out and about like I am today. So here I am, the River Irwell, as it leaves Manchester and heads its way down to the sea, and strap in for a ramble. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was the fact that I just had to get out, and it made me think, well, I had 2 good days. Previous 2 days I went on a long hike the day before last, and then I went to Hebden Bridge, probably flouting the travelling regulations that are in place at the moment in UK, Manchester, but got on the train, Hebden Bridge. In fact, I saw less people getting on the train and going to Hebden Bridge and then going for walks there and coming back. Less people overall than actually if I'd stayed in Manchester and done a walk like I'm doing today, where I don't use any public transport. I just leave the house, leave the flat, and go and do my own thing in my own area. So, as I've mentioned in previous videos, dog walkers, cyclists, people with prams, people going for jogs, people just going out for walks, you can't avoid them in the city centre. And yet the train was almost deserted. So there you go. What do you make of that? So here I am, and in some respects it's actually nice to bump into people, to go to the shops. Just went to Asda's before and picked up some bits, and I don't actually have deep and meaningful conversations with anybody, but it's quite nice just to see other people, other human beings, instead of going stir crazy inside. And I think everybody needs that. So what was I going to talk about next? That's it. Yeah, thanks. Right. See you soon. Yeah, so one of the things that leads on from my previous thing I just said is the fact that silence is good sometimes, isn't it? I'm just getting old. Can't remember fuck all these days. While I have a moment. Anyway, so one of the things that I really miss, of course, is having a beer. Now, obviously, I have been at supermarkets, have still been selling alcohol. I have been partaking in a reasonable amount of alcohol in the last year, since we've been stuck at home. Have still been able to get out to the supermarkets and get stuff, and I've not been going crazy. A bottle of wine will last me 3 or 4 days. Might have the occasional beer. Sometimes I don't have anything at all. I've got a nice bottle of whiskey that my mum bought for me for Christmas, which is a nice little sort of warming tipple before bed sometimes. But I've not been getting absolutely hammered. In fact, what's the point getting tipsy when you're by yourself? It's just sad, really. So I have been partaking a little bit, but the thing that I really miss is the pub. I miss going to my local pub and seeing everybody, seeing the bar staff when they used to have nice bar staff, and just sitting with whoever ends up going that day, that evening, having a good old chin wag, or just sitting by yourself, sometimes in a corner, collecting thoughts, sometimes getting slowly sizzled, and sometimes not. Sometimes just a quick pint at the end of a hot day or a long day at work. So I really miss that. There's the social interaction that I had at my local. And I think since I'm in Manchester, I've always had a local where I've gone to, and that's really nice. For somewhere that is a city with hundreds of pubs, maybe not so many now, they're probably all shut down for good. But if you could find a place to put your feet at the end of the day and sit down, plonk yourself on the stool, and have a few beers with a few familiar buddies, I think that's a good, healthy thing to do. And maybe we do that in England a lot more than other countries. England is for that. But I think it's because we don't have the social structure that other countries do. In fact, perhaps, for example, Italy, where family and friends and the closeness of family and friends is much more important. And meals are always taken with alcohol, and people are less likely to get drunk. But the family and friends are all there. Every generation looks after each other and cooks, and it's much more of a sociable atmosphere. And perhaps we've made up for that in England by having the pub. That's what we have. So I've missed it. I've missed the New Oxford. No plug. Not getting paid to say that. But the New Oxford has been and always probably will be have a place in my heart as my local, amongst others in Manchester that have been over the years, Bar Fringe and the Castle Hotel, and those two places still are. Anyway, told you it was a ramble. It is a ramble. Obviously, for the last year, we've not been able to go to the pub. Or we were for a brief interlude in the middle of it, and that was rubbish too. It wasn't a pub; it was a clinical occasion. Go in, sanitize, get shown to your table, get served at your table if you're lucky, if they can see you, because we're not used to that sort of service in England. Put your mask on if you go to the toilet. Go in the front door, go out the back door. Ridiculous set of regulations. It's just, don't get me started. That's another subject altogether. Anyway, here I am, walking by the river, moaning about not being able to go to the pub. One thing that's really good, of course, at the end of a nice long walk, is going to the pub. There you go. So, socialising is the theme of today. Not able to socialise, and that really does my head in. However, since working and being a patron of the pub for probably getting on for, or even maybe more than 10 years, I still haven't made any close friends. I've got friends, and some of them are close, but I haven't got a buddy or buddies or a group of lads and or lasses that I socialise with. If I meet them at the pub, I meet them there, and that's that. There's never any arrangement to do anything. there have been incidences of stuff like that. For example, there was a girl that we went cycling and a few walks together. That was really nice. There are other people that I've been to their places and we've had dinner, and but we have occasionally gone off to other places other than the pub. But not a lot. I found it really difficult to make friends, a close friend or a close group of friends, and not just at the New Oxford, throughout my whole time in Manchester, to be honest. And if I was going to be completely honest, ever. Here I am, 50 years of age, and I haven't got a close friend. I haven't got a wife, I haven't got a girlfriend, and I haven't got a close friend. What does that say about me? Can I just blame that on the lockdown? No. Can I blame it on the nature of going to a local pub? No. Can I blame it on the some of them lovely people that I've become friendly with at various pubs and things? No. So, that leads me to a terrifying thought. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. It's the reason why I haven't got any close friends, anyone special that I can call my own romantically or friendship-wise, and that's weird, and it's got me thinking about that, and in a funny kind of way, I look at the rest of my family and my brother and sister, and now my mum also, and I think, well, perhaps it's similar for them. Perhaps they also have found it difficult to make friends over the years. I don't know. I don't know to be absolutely certain. Certainly, both my brother and sister do have friends, and are close to other people, and are both romantically involved as well, and have been for most of their adult lives. And I still am not. It's weird, but I don't. We are a very small family, and I don't know if they've actually, got close buddies, like the thing that perhaps I crave sometimes. And maybe it is me. Maybe it's me that's caused that. I have been offered friendship is the wrong phrase, but friendship with people has been sort of suggested, if that's even the wrong word, but it has been sort of there have been occasions where there was the opportunity to be friends with people, but I've never felt that connection with the people involved at the time that I wanted to, that I felt like I could completely open up. And to me, that's what a close friend is, someone that you can completely open up to, that knows exactly how you feel, what you're thinking, not all the time obviously, but has a better idea than most people. Similarly to a good partner, I guess, romantic partner. It's a similar kind of relationship. And I don't think I've ever met anybody that I can let those barriers down and feel like that with. And that's weird. Is that my fault? Do I just need to try harder to let people into my life, or not? Have all the people that I know at the pub, which must be a good 100 people, say, maybe more, people, characters, personalities at the pub, old and young, male and female. I think I've actually heard from 2 over the last year, almost a year. The lockdown started in March, I think, last year. We're now in February. So 2 people out of all of those that I've actually heard from in any shape or form. So that it kind of goes to show you. And is that just me? Or are they all like that with each other? I think a lot of them are all like that with each other. They're all... It's a weird phenomena. The northern pub thing, the local pub is a weird phenomena, and I hesitate to say this, but I don't think it's quite the same down south. I think you are more likely to make a deeper friendship with someone down south. With people always say that northerners are friendlier and more welcoming than southerners, and that southerners are standoffish and rude and ignorant and don't even say hello to you in the street. And to some extent, that's true. You go to a smaller town, and like I did, I went to Hampton Bridge the other day. People were slightly friendlier. You live in a village, people are going to be slightly friendlier. But I also do think that perhaps there's something to be said that once you actually get to know Southerners, they are more welcome. They will welcome you into a closer friendship and a closer community than is ever possible up north. So there's a lot of things to think about there, and obviously I've thought about this quite a lot over the last few years since I've been in Manchester. I'm happy, I'm fairly settled, got my own flat. I've got a bunch of people that I know I can go and be friendly with in the local when it's fucking open. So while I just cross this busy road, I've come down the river now, and I'm now going to head back down to Manchester, down the canal, just my normal usual route, and just get over this road so I don't get splattered, and normal service can resume. So yeah, there you go. That's my thoughts about that, and coming full circle to, because these kind of thoughts, especially when you've got loads of time on your hand like me at the moment, you think about all this kind of stuff quite a lot, and you think, why that, why this, why the other, and I think I'm a fairly fair person with my own opinions. I try and see things from multiple points of view, rather than just looking at things slanted from one angle, and try and play devil's advocate with myself, as I do with anybody, and that, in fact, bizarrely, is one of the areas where I don't feel I completely do gel with other people, is because everybody has their own blinkered opinions about stuff. Whether it's politics or food or chemistry or religion or whatever the subject, doesn't matter what the subject is. At the end of the day, everybody is just very blinkered. They can't open their minds up and say, what if Brexit, coronavirus, vaccine, the list goes on. So wait a minute, I've got to get off this road, it's noisy as fuck. So there we go, off that noisy main road, and onto the canal. Bittersweet emotions, as usual on any journey, whether it's through life or round the block. I now know that I'm heading back to Manchester, heading back home officially, because I'm halfway, and the journey will be over soon. And it always seems to be around about halfway that you start enjoying it really quite a lot. And maybe that's natural, maybe that's psychological, and that's the way it should be. Look forward to getting home now, getting a shower, getting some food on, making a cake, and it'll be sad that it's over, as with every walk, but looking forward to the next one. And if the weather stays like this for a few days, blue sky, I can put up with the cold and the snow. It's just the rain and the dark, miserable clouds that get to you every day when you wake up. You go to bed, right? You go to bed because it's dark, there's nothing else to do. You need some sleep, you wake up the next day, look out the window, it's dark. You know, when life is just one eternal night time, it sort of compounds how miserable it feels because of the fucking coronavirus and the fucking stupid regulations that the government has put into place. And where was I? Well, I was talking about lots of different things to do with the pub and relationships and friends and being single and closeness and all that sort of stuff. And the thought that this sort of led me to earlier when I was semi-planning what I would talk about. I never plan word for word or use a script, but here I am. I've got to organise my thoughts fairly logically, otherwise it would just be a complete mess of a ramble. Now, all of this got me wondering, why? Is it just me? Is it the people up north? I've kind of asked these questions earlier on in the video, but is it the people up north? Is it just people in Manchester? Are people in Liverpool or Leeds or Sheffield friendlier? Are people really wankers down south? I think a lot of people see Londoners or go to London maybe and get that impression of people, and perhaps there is an element of truth to it, of course, there probably is, but I have lived half of my life up here and half of it down south, so possibly I am slightly more qualified than some other people to be able to make that comparison. That doesn't mean that when I did actually live down south, I was parents from Oxford and East London, brought up most of it in Essex. Doesn't mean to say that I had tremendous close friendships or girlfriends down there, and the simple reason for that was I wasn't allowed. My dad, who, as you may be aware, died a few weeks ago now, just wouldn't allow it. Wasn't allowed to leave the house, you know. I have to keep reminding myself just how much of a tyranny my childhood was. It wasn't that I had to go to school, come home, I was never allowed to leave the house. Even when I got to sort of 16, 17, 18, and I ended up going to sixth form, which was a stupid idea. Well, that's another video. Even then, there was he ruled with such an iron fist, and the fear of disobeying him was so much that me, my brother and my sister, who then came along 10 years later, we were too scared to do anything, to say anything, to go against the way that he wanted things to be done. Fear, lots of physical abuse and also mental abuse. And who's to say which one had the most effect? Obviously, anybody on the planet is scared of getting a pasting. But possibly, I would imagine the psychological abuse is the one that really undermines it all, and not undermines it. Sort of the psychological abuse that we had escaped from my dad's tyranny at the age of 18, went back for it, escaped again, and I'm 50 now, so I've been free of it for 30 years, but not completely free of it, because it still lingers on, in the way that he treated my sister after I left, my brother and then my sister, and the way that he continued to treat my mum all the way almost up to his death, despite being a frail old man and a lovely sweet old man in the eyes of visitors. Obviously they didn't see what went on behind the scenes. So yeah, bit of a meander there, but was never allowed to go out, never allowed to form friendships, even at what do you call school before junior school? Infant school. Even at infant school, at the age of 5-ish, probably, I was not allowed. I had no idea. I remember standing in the playground by myself. I didn't grow up in that area. My mum and dad my mum gave birth to me on the Isle of Wight. I must have moved to that. I don't know if I moved to that school at the beginning of the year. I don't think I did, because I didn't know how to make friendships with people. Didn't know how to socialise, and I do remember being in the playground and just by myself, just walking around the border of the playground while everyone else played. I didn't know how to do that. Was never allowed to. Was never encouraged to. Was never allowed out into the street to go and play with people of my own age or slightly older or younger. A disaster of a childhood. And why am I saying all of this? Maybe that's carried through to today. Maybe I should hold back on blaming everybody else in my life for me not having friends or a long-lasting partner. Maybe it's not even me. Maybe it's because of the way that I was brought up. Maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe it is people up north, Manchester, my local area. Maybe I just haven't found the right crowd of people. Maybe there is a difference between the north and the south. Maybe it's me and just the person that I've ended up being, and that I'm just a miserable git. Or maybe we can trace it all the way back to how my upbringing and looking at the rest of my family, who are probably quite so badly affected as me. Perhaps I would say that's what it is. So thanks a lot, Dad. Thanks a fucking lot. And bizarrely, he was the same. He can hear footsteps behind me. I just need to keep checking. Bizarrely, he was exactly the same. He was, in fact, worse than any of us put together, probably. Totally socially inept in social situations. Didn't know how to sit, how to hold himself, his posture, didn't know what to say, didn't know what to talk about, avoided social situations completely if he could. Yeah, not a good role model for how to behave in society. I've had to discover all of that for myself, work out it all for myself. When someone's face looks like that, that's how they're feeling. When someone talks about this, this is what they actually mean. Which, to start with, made me really gullible. In my first dipping my toes slowly into social situations when I'd left home made me initially very gullible, fell in with the wrong crowd all the time, just because I was trying to pin my deflated personality, if it existed, on somebody else, the framework of somebody else's, and ended up with the wrong crowd doing bad things, and still haven't got it right. Still haven't got it right. Yep. Yeah, I don't blame myself. And deep down, it's weird because deep down, I know that I'm a really nice, friendly, sociable, intelligent. I've got lots to say about a lot of things. I'm sensitive, sympathetic, caring, funny. There's so much to my personality, and most people don't even know it. Most people don't even know about any of it. That's it. There you go. I think I'll stop the rambling and just ramble a bit.